on the TikToks. You should pop over to the YouTube channel so you can see my screen once we get going in earnest. Let's see here. Oops. All right. Let's see here. Almost there. Okay. All right, let's roll. Fresh haircut this morning, so I'm feeling good. My guy was open early, so I dropped the girls, got a quick cut, did a few deadlifts, and now we're ready to get after it. There it is. Okay. Plan for today is as follows. I am going to move quickly through building a plan for, I've got, 5, 6, 8 of primarily our Founders Club members, and primarily for those who want to build a listings pipeline or get more listings by helping and serving senior owners in a specific zip code or city who are wanting or thinking about downsizing. And this is the niche, or the, I guess I would say niche, or the focus for, that's the word I was looking for, the focus for our March listing sprint. And so I want to get out ahead of it and connect the dots for some who are interested. This is an example plan. Pardon me. This is an example plan for Joan, who is part of my EXP organization. She's in Broomfield, Colorado. And I shared this, I think, last week with some folks who were interested. And I'm going to be building something out similar and just going through and detailing, this is what we're going to do. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to map out the plan to get from in this case, we're choosing senior owners. There's 1 or 2 in here that's maybe absentee owners if we have time as well as the target audience. Who we're going to collect, which of the target audiences are we going to collect, so we can get to work on contacting, getting into conversation, connecting on a deeper level so we can write contracts, close transactions, and get compensated. Yippee, the bonus C, compensation. So that's what we're going to do this morning, and I'm just going to keep it moving and kind of short and punchy with each of these plans, that I will then go back and sort of fill in some of the gaps for those who want help with implementation. All right. Actually, one quick thing before I get into that. I want to publicly say thank you to David Glogger. David, over the weekend, Saturday morning, requested, hey, can you send me the expired listing scripting? And so yesterday at 11 a.m., I was doing the expired. I got started prospecting a list of expireds, and the goal is to get through 100. I'll get through 100. It's going to take me longer than I anticipated. I'm not even at 30 yet. However, David chimed in and shared which of the 2 scripts were working best for him. I immediately pivoted, and immediately things changed, because I have already gotten 4 replies, less than 30 that I've contacted, less than 30, 4 replies, which tracks with David's results, because he was at essentially 10%, or 1 out of 10, using the, hey, Sean, it's Josh with eXp Realty. Are you still accepting offers for your property at street address? That is the script. And you call and you text and you email, or you text, you text, you call, you email. Although I would love if we have some folks that split test calling first, because I've had some folks reach out who inexplicably are not getting the response rate that we're seeing others get. And I'm trying like crazy to figure out what could be different. Why could that be happening? What is creating this disconnect in, so-and-so is getting this, so-and-so is getting Y. And so, Sean, the delivery could be, if that's what you mean, like how you're delivering the words, that absolutely could be a factor. And yet I feel like it's my job to figure out what it is and fix it for all, so that I can say with confidence that we know if you do X, you will get Y. If you just do X, you'll get Y. And so I've spent a lot of time late day yesterday in the evening. Pam at like 7:30 is like, "What are you working on your computer?" I'm like, I'm trying to help. So more to come on that. But for those of you, if you're thinking about or you're actively working expired listings, I would roll with that script. Hey, Stuart, this is Josh with eXp Realty. Are you still accepting offers for your property at street address? All of my responses thus far have come from text and email. Now, admittedly, one of those four was the guy that I said that he's like Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can, and I'm like Tom Hanks. We've been playing a cat and mouse game since like 2020, I think. He may even go back to 2019. I don't know. Cat and mouse with him for a while, but I've got three others as well. And so I have to circle back and close the loop on those. And I got to get through the 100 so I can document this is what happened with 100. I started with 102. The import was 97. And also some of them, I'd say for me, it's about 1 out of 10 are still listed after doing the AI search. So more to come on that, but that's not the topic today. The topic today is building out plans for those who had reached out to me. For the most part, looking for a plan to build a listing pipeline to get more listings by helping and serving senior owners in a specific zip code or city. And if you're watching this on the live stream, number one, thank you. Number two, if you go to leaddeck.ai/plan, leaddeck.ai/plan, you can answer a couple short questions. I'm getting excited. I'm talking too fast. I'm like, my words are slurring. I swear this is it's just coffee in here. Nothing other than coffee. You can answer a few questions and I will build you out a personalized plan like this and explain the options if you want our help in connecting the dots on this. So the what's the I don't want to call it non-negotiables, but the pieces, the components of each of these plans are similar. And for those who are interested, we will take care of all the heavy lifting. Like we being Sean and I, and even Mike, who's helping us out, have realized there is more that we can, could, and should be doing for our folks so that as fast as possible, we can get to tapping our way to transactions. So if you see this and you want help with this, there are options for us to wireframe this all up, to do all the, to remove all of the brain damage of this tech stuff so that you can literally just be tapping your way to text, to talk, to email, to direct mail, etc. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed in the tech stack part of this. I want to share strategy and then strategize for Chris and for Deb and for Harry and for Tanya and for time permitting Michael and JR. And I don't know, I've got a whole bunch of them here that I have mapped out. We'll see how many we get through here live. The tech stack is as follows. We want to have everything integrated and working in tandem. So if you have a CRM, if you're using Bold Trail or Go High Level or Lofty or whatever you're using, we want that to work in tandem with everything else. We want to have sort of wireframe together our institutional offer platform. We want to have wireframe together, direct mail, and of course, LeadDeck, so that we can go and just start to do the work of tapping away. And we first and foremost, by far the most important is conversations. But we also want to plant seeds so that if the conversation is not ripe to be had today, when it is ripe and ready, you're the one they're having the conversation for. So I'm emphasizing that point because I don't want you to assume that, oh, I can just hide behind this automation and this direct mail and so forth. The reality is, and I hammered this point yesterday, there is no getting around the fact that if you want to close more transactions, you have to have more conversations. And if there is a need for more conversations, you are going to have to deal with more rejection, period. So that aside, we want to build an infrastructure, a system for you so that you can get business today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next quarter, next year. So we're building a growing pipeline of opportunity for you. We will build all this together such that when the time is right and you're ready and you've got your Monday time block of 60 to 75 minutes to work this audience, that all you got to do is tap. All you got to do is tap away. So I'm going to start with Chris. Now, what I didn't get from Chris, because this was pre us having LeadDeck.ai, man, oh man. Get the marbles out of my mouth. LeadDeck.ai/plan. This was pre that. I was talking with Chris last week and I said, let me build out a plan for you. Tell me what zip code. What I didn't confirm with her is how many transactions, listings, etc. I mean, listings lead to transactions. So what's the target per month? So I don't have that, but I'll break down how to think about that as it relates to the plan building. So I'm going to take this zip code and we're going to go over to LeadDeck and we're just going to do some market research. So I'm going to pop this zip code in. This is a Cincinnati, Ohio zip code. At first, Chris said, well, I want to do Cincinnati, Ohio. I said, Chris, we need a zip code because Cincinnati, Ohio. I mean, you're working the whole city, right? So let's start small. Because we can always expand out. Because once she has the plan for 45243, if or when she runs out of leads that we've collected here, all she has to do is pick her next most desirable zip code. So we start small and we can ladder up or expand out from there. So in that zip code, Chris has 641 senior owner, the senior owner target. For whatever reason, and this must be, we're seeing this from time to time, where one of two things, if you see zero tax default, it's one of two things. Either that county or specifically that jurisdiction hasn't reported that yet, or the way they're reporting it is showing up as an involuntary lien. It's not a big deal. I'm just pointing it out for those who are curious and you have to know all these answers. Okay. It's not that LeadDeck is broke. It's the way the data is either not being reported or is being reported, but not the same as maybe other cases. So from this, I'm going to go to the list stacking. I want to go to list stacking because I want to stack the deck, especially early on, for us to capture as much of the low-hanging fruit as we possibly can first and foremost. So right off the bat, what I'm going to recommend for Chris is to stack senior owner with involuntary lien. And what do we have there? We have 96 leads right out of the gate. If I go back to this plan and I assume that Chris would like to close 3 to 5 transactions per month, and I don't know that to be the case or not, but I'm just saying, if I assume that that is the case, then this 96 is going to be our first week's worth of contacts that we are collecting to converse with and connect with. You all are going to get really tired of these C's. I can tell already because I'm just beating the C's to death. But right off the bat, we've got 96 for her to start with. Now, I said I would connect the dots on or give you a framework for this. So if it's 3 to 5, if your goal is 3 to 5, and please know, I'm all for setting big goals, BHAGs, whatever they want to call them. I'm all for it. But also, you need to know yourself and what you actually want. So don't just say you want to do 3 to 5 a month, which is essentially 1 a week, just because that sounds good or because you saw somebody else talking about that. You get to choose. There we go again. Choose what you want. Chris may only want to do 1 to 2 transactions per month. And that's fine. I say only, that's fine. 1 to 2 per month is still 1 to 2 transactions per month. Puts her, any of you in here, in the 7% of all licensed real estate agents, according to NAR for 2025. If you do 10 or more, you're in the top 7%. So that's nothing to, sneeze at. I can't intentionally sneeze. So why is that a phrase? I don't even understand what that means. Nothing to sneeze at. We say these things, but I don't even sometimes know, I know what it means, but I don't know why it means. Anyway, if she wanted 1 to 2 per month, the way we would adjust this is the number of total contacts per week and then translate that to her time blocks. So 1 to 2 means she should be doing 25 to 50 contacts per week. Averaged out over a month, I'm going to say 2 weeks at 50, 2 weeks at 25, 150 total contacts. So if that were the goal, this 96 would give her enough contacts for 2 weeks. So it just depends. You can choose what you want and then use math to reverse engineer how to get to the result that you want. So for Chris, I'm going to recommend that she starts there. Now there's some smaller buckets here that we're going to stack to get the next bucket, the next batch. And some of this is just, I'm playing around here. I'm just playing with the numbers. So if we go senior and inherited, what do we get there? It's going to be small, 7, but no harm. We'll go those 7. So we've got senior involuntary, senior inherited. What about senior vacant? I have no idea. This might yield 0. 2. Okay. So we're about 105 contacts at this point. Where might I go next? Well, I could go either high equity or free and clear. I'm going to go high equity. Let's see what we get there. Now we've got too many. It's too many. 621. She won't run out of those for weeks. So why don't we try something different? Why don't we try senior free and clear? 243. Okay, so here's the order. Here's the order for Chris. And I'm actually going to tweak my answer a little. I'm going to start at the smallest and chunk up. Senior owner, vacant. There were 2 of them. Senior owner, inherited. There were 7 of them. Senior owner, involuntary lien. There were 96. Senior owner, free and clear. There were 243. Senior owner, high equity. That gives Chris, in this case, enough senior owner contacts that she can contact for at least the next quarter. At least the next quarter. And depending on what her actual goal of number of listings and transactions per month is, that might give her 6 months worth of leads. And then what's most important is going deep on that entire bucket. Not wide, deep. Texting, calling, emailing, direct mail. When someone engages, making sure that there is a follow-up plan to turn them from a conversation to a connection so we can eventually get a listing contract or listing agreement and eventually get compensated. Now, one of the many wonderful opportunities with senior owners is that many of them will be downsizing and be purchasing another home. It might be in your same market where you would have an opportunity for multiple transactions, or it might be an opportunity where you are going to refer them. I am certain that there is some number in this zip code that when they think about downsizing, they are thinking about going somewhere a little bit warmer than Cincinnati, Ohio in January. I know because we have the same climate here. And I also know because Ed, if you are a regular attendee here, I have Ed. I don't know why I'm saying that. Starting on Monday, I have a local guy named Ed who is a friend of Eric, Eric's on my local team. And he is willing to make calls. And he has had some health problems, which makes it, he's a painter by trade, but he has had health issues. And so he needs to find other ways to make money. And he's not afraid of the phone. So he's been calling. I think it was it yesterday morning? I think it was yesterday morning. I shared, and maybe it was on the LeadDeck Founders Club Mastermind. I don't remember. But I went and met with him Tuesday, and I'm trying to get him to use, to tap away. And what's working best for Ed is he looks at the phone numbers in LeadDeck and he handpecks them in. And you know what? He's winning, so I don't care. Why am I talking about Ed? Because last night at 5:30, Ed texts me. Actually, he texted me and then called me because he was excited. He said, "You got to call Joanne. I just talked to her. Her husband passed away. They have a small reverse mortgage, and she is ready to move to Florida." So I called Joanne, and absolutely, all checks out. I'm going to preview the house tomorrow, and she is a senior owner. She would fit the high equity, not free and clear, but high equity. She's got a small reverse mortgage, and she wants to downsize to Florida. Now, they might rent. It's her and a friend. They might rent or they might buy, but I'll get the listing. I will turn that listing into more opportunities through my marketing, and I might have an opportunity to refer. If they're going to rent, I'm not going to look for a referral fee on a rental placement. But if they're going to buy, I'll refer it to someone down there, and could be multiple transactions. But I digress. There's the plan for Chris. Let's keep it moving along because I'm already taking longer than I had hoped. I've got David second here, but I'm going to move out of order here. Mark, because I wanted to, Deb. I think Deb let me know. I'm trying to take them in order of requests. So I've got Deb. She's in Skysville, Maryland. So let's take a look at Deb. Just know that, golly, I have too many of these, that the rest of this setup remains constant. The variable is the CRM, if we're even going to use something as the CRM component of this. And then the targets. That's really the only variable here. And then we will help connect the dots. Specifically, by we, I mean Mike, because he's really good at that stuff. I can muddle my way through it, but Mike is he's an assassin when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like he's just maybe ninja. I don't know if assassin's the right word. Whatever. I'm going to load up the counts here. And wow. 2,674 senior owner. And then we've got the involuntary. We've got a couple of inherited. So every one of these is different and unique because every market is different and unique. And as much as I loathe when I'm talking with someone and they're like, you don't get it, my market's different, there is some truth in that. There are best practices and principles that work. And also there is some truth to the fact that Not some truth. There's a lot of truth. Every market is unique and different. The type of properties, the mentalities, anyway. So immediately, what am I thinking for Deb here? So we're gonna stack. We're gonna stack, and we're gonna stack senior and involuntary. There's a theme with that. 92, perfect. I know Deb. I'm confident Deb is in the 3 to 5 boat. I'm confident Deb's in the 3 to 5 boat. So that means that's about a week's worth of contacts that we can collect so she can contact them to get into conversation, to connect with them, etc. That's bucket number 1. Then we'll go senior, tax default, 247. So that to me that's 2.5 weeks worth of contacts. What next? I'm looking here, looking. I'm going to go free and clear as my next one. 998. Now she has 10 weeks. Right there, Deb has essentially the next quarter. And here's what I also know, specifically about Deb. Deb's not going to make it through all of these because she will have uncovered so much opportunity in these 2 phases that she will now be investing way more time in the people that she has already connected with and the contract she's got going. That's what will happen. And then she can always come back to the pump, okay? To the old well pump. She can always come back to the pump, pick up where she left off, and go from there. So for Deb, to confirm, we're going to go senior, involuntary, senior, tax default, senior, free and clear, and if or when we get beyond that, senior, high equity. And that's just one zip code in Skysville, Maryland. And the only reason I even know Skysville, Maryland exists, even though it's a bordering state, is because there's a sign for it off of 83. So that, literally, this is a zip code that I would guess the majority of you on here have never heard of Skysville, Maryland. Why am I even bringing that up? Because there is loads of opportunity in every one of your markets. And also, all of that opportunity requires work. You got to actually do the work. Obvious, I know, but I want to repeat it. I want to take a quick side note. If you're watching on TikTok or if you're watching on the live stream, TikTok, come on over to Josh Shanley Coaching on YouTube. And if you're watching on the live stream, there's a banner scrolling across the bottom. You can get more information about LeadDeck and or even request a personalized plan like what I'm building live here at leaddeck.ai/plan. Answer, I think it's, 4 or 5 questions. It'll put you in the queue and we'll build out a plan like this. So we got Deb. Let's go Harry. I don't know if Harry's on, but Harry is, I do know where Harry's at. He's in Kensington, Maryland. I don't think I've ever been there, but I'm at least familiar with Kensington, Maryland. And I might only be familiar with Kensington, Maryland because of Harry. So I don't know. I've known Harry for a very long time. He's been part of our EXP organization for years now. So grateful to have him. Kensington, Maryland. We've got 1,233. Sorry, phone ringing. 1,233 senior owners. No tax default. So Kensington is not reporting that. Whatever. There are some involuntary. And I'm sure we have some high equity and plenty of free and clear. So I'm just scanning here. Here's where we're going to start with Harry. We're going to start with senior and vacant. We might, this could, sometimes it's 0 when we stack them. What do we got? 10. That's fine. We'll start with 10. And then we'll stack senior with involuntary lien. 24. So we're at 35. And then we'll stack senior with free and clear. 641. Now we've gotten a whole bunch. Now, one thing I might recommend for Harry is we stack senior tired landlord before that, 92. I would work that bucket before we get to the free and clear. So for Harry, I'm going to say senior vacant, number 1, senior involuntary, number 2, senior tired landlord, number 3, senior free and clear, number 4. That will get him, if my math is correct, it's about 800. If Harry, I kind of know Harry's target number. I'm going to guess that he's going to be somewhere between 50 and 100 contacts per week as the target. Let's say it's 50. That means he's got 4 months at a minimum, 4 months of senior owners that he can contact consistently. Another C word. I can't even, sometimes it just falls right in my lap. There's not, what am I supposed to do? If he consistently contacts these over time, his conversation rate will increase, which will turn into more contracts, closings, and compensation. Who's next? We got Deb, we got Harry. Is Tanya on? If Tanya's on, Tanya, you don't see her? Okay, because I didn't get a zip code for her. I may have to do, which would be fine. I'll build hers outside of this. Leland, North Carolina. The only reason I know Leland exists is because I've talked to Mark and Bobby a couple of weeks ago. Never heard of Leland, North Carolina. At least I don't think so. So we're now working Mark. We're now working Mark. So interesting here. Interesting. To me, at least I find it interesting, the variances in these counts depending on the areas and so forth. For example, Kensington, senior owner count way up. In-state absentee was way down, meaning the ratio of it. This one is totally flipped. There's twice as many in-state absentee owners as there are senior owners in Leland. It's just information. It's just data. But Mark wants a plan specifically for senior owners and specifically for positioning himself and Bobby to take more listings by helping and serving those senior owners who might be looking to downsize. Senior owner, I'm going to go senior owner involuntary. That's my first stack for Mark. Let's check that lead count. Oh, you can't stack. You can't have more than, I'll have to talk to Sean. Sean should make it so you can't check a third one. Should like gray out or something. We'll add that to the very long list of enhancement requests. That's growing. And I'm like, Sean, I'm sorry. Again, this is a good idea. Just add it to the list. So we've got 18 to start. Not a lot, but doing more with less is one of our mantras. In other words, going deeper with a smaller audience. Drill a well all the way to the water. Drill the oil well all the way until you strike gold. Oil, gold, whatever. You get the point. I'm mixing my analogies. Next, I'm going to go senior tax default. 146. I forget what the first one was. Was it 12? So depending on the goals, this might be a week and a half worth of contacts. If the goal was 3 to 5 a month. And by the way, that's like just from this pillar. Now this pillar, everything is in real estate sort of can expand out. Meaning you get a listing that creates more opportunities in the neighborhood or buyer side, et cetera. Once you sell it, right? Ideally, every listing should turn into another 1, 2, or 3 potential contracts. Ideally. Right? So we got to start somewhere, and we got to hit the sort of exit velocity of getting that first one, and that first one can create an entire snowball of more opportunity. So senior involuntary, senior tax default. Next, I'm going to go, and maybe I should start with this one, but we'll see. Senior tired landlord, 147. I love that stack because a whole bunch of reasons. But I'll say the biggest one is that audience is more inclined to answer their phone than anyone. And if conversations is the number one KPI, if we want to close more transactions, Let's talk to people that aren't afraid of the phone, that are of an era where it was exciting and like a wonderful surprise when the phone rang, and not like, this thing's ringing again. Block, like it's a different era that we live in, a different era. But I digress. Mark, senior involuntary, senior tax default, senior tired, and next I would go senior free and clear, and that's going to be we're going to have hundreds, 352. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Who's next? Who I got next here? I'm going to do one or two more senior owner, and then I had a couple of requests come from folks asking for absentee owner. So the plan is the same. The sequence of stacking for the leads that we're going to collect so we can contact them, converse with them, connect with them, etc. That's what changes in this plan. But let me knock out a couple of more. I have at least one more senior before we'll pivot to that. 10:05, we're making good time. Again, if you're watching on the TikTok live, come on over to the YouTube channel, Josh Shanley Coaching. And if you're watching there, check out the scroll at the bottom. You can get more information about LeadDeck.ai, and you can request a personalized plan like what we're doing here at LeadDeck.ai/plan. I have never heard of League City, Texas. Now, Texas is like a country onto its own, so I'm not shocked by that. But David, I know David is in the Houston area, but I've never heard of League City, Texas. It sounds like a cool place. I mean, League City? Where are you from?
It's one of the main suburbs.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds awesome. Look at this. Holy smokes. I mean, 7,000? What is the population of League City? This is wild to me. If this isn't eye-opening, I don't know what to tell you, because I have never heard of League City, Texas. And there are 7,000 single family, which I haven't even pointed this out. I'm only searching single family right now. In League City, this may be the first instance where in this one, we might want to go to advanced filters and say, I only want League City single family. I'm sorry, League City single family that are a minimum of 4 bedrooms. And even that, we still have 2,000. It was still have 2,000. I'm going to remove that. Actually, am I going to? No, I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it because I know Dave is not greedy. He's not trying to close a transaction a day as much as maybe he would like that. That also creates chaos, let's be honest. I think we've got enough at this one zip code, and we've just added one filter, one additional filter, which is 4 bedrooms. Why 4 bedrooms? Because for most people, that's like, who are thinking about downsizing, they don't need all this house anymore, right? Like, they're like, we could use less to take care of. So let's stack them. I'm clicking wrong buttons here. We'll go senior. Hold on. What did I do here? Let me preview the counts again. Uh-oh. Hold on. 4 bedroom. Load the counts. Here we go. So I'm going to stack them up. Senior. Tax default. 154. It's a good start. If I had to guess, David's probably in the 3 to 5 per month boat. So for David, that's a week and a half worth of contacts. 25 a day, 4 days a week. You could do 50 a day, Tuesdays a week, right? You can split hairs on that. If I know Mark's going to do, he wants to hit the Gmail limit again, where Gmail says you can't send any more emails. Never thought anybody in here would get to that, but Mark found it. So we're going to start with senior tax default. Senior involuntary will be next. 115. So that's 275-ish, 270, something like that. What next? We'll go senior tired. 17, small. I might actually start there, David. I'm going to reverse here. I'm going to say start with senior tired, then senior tax default, then senior involuntary, and then we'll finish with senior free and clear. And now we've got a whole bucket load. I mean, we've got 7 weeks worth of 100 contacts a week for that one.
Just a thought, Josh, on the tired.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily indicate if they're going from Ohio to Florida, they may want to keep that rental house as income.
Well, I just like those well, I'm sorry. Let me not assume what you mean. What do you mean by that? Or like, what are you,
I'm saying that that may not be the house that they're selling. How do you know, I mean,
you're illustrating.
Ohio, they have a rental house in Ohio. They're moving to Florida, but they'll keep the Ohio rental house as, $2,000 a month income.
Illustrating a great point of why I like that bucket. In part, three reasons maybe. Number one, they own multiple properties. If they're on both of those lists, they own multiple properties. Whereas Joanne, that I talked to last night, she has one property. She's never even thought about the idea of having a rental property. Like I mean, maybe at some point in her life she did, but she's got one property. Those two stacks, senior with tired, or even senior with in-state absentee, which I haven't gotten too much. What is that? That tells us that they own multiple properties. And as Stuart mentioned, keep doing that. They might sell their primary and keep the rental. They might sell their primary, relocate somewhere else, and keep the rental. They might want to sell everything. There's any number of things, but they own multiple properties. They're of an age where the phone is something that, they're more accustomed to having phone conversations. And that's the differentiator if you want to close more transactions. And what was my third? They own multiple properties. They're more disposed to answering the phone. Well, I guess this kind of coincides, but a lot of them are of an age where they've done their property management, which makes them even more likely to answer their phone because they've been the property management, the property maintenance, etc. So they're like conditioned that, as much as they might, loathe the fact that a tenant is calling about another leaky toilet, they know that they kind of have to, it's part of the thing that they signed up for. So, all right, we did Chris, we had David, we got Mark. All right, at this point, I'm going to pivot to two absentee. The flow and everything else is the same. The only thing that changes a little bit is how we set up the direct mail to ensure that the direct mail is talking about the absentee-owned property, but being delivered to the mailing address of the owner. That's literally it. And we'll handle all that. So you don't even have to worry about that. And Sean, you were chiming in there. I don't know if that was accidental or on purpose, but I noticed because then now I don't see you anymore. But Fort Worth, Texas, a city that I've heard of. What do you know? Actually, let me just go ahead and refresh this. Sometimes this thing gets confused if we got too many of these. So I'm going to say Fort Worth. And let's just see originally, like right off the bat, where we're at. Beautiful. Okie dokie. Beautiful. So I'm just, I'm taking it all in right now. Taking it all in. For JR, here's my list stack sequence. Or we'll figure out the sequence after we do the numbers. We're going to start. In this case, I like starting, if absentee owner is the target audience, I like starting with the tired landlord as the fixed variable. They own multiple for a number of years, and when we layer in some other potential, that alone may be motivation. Okay, number one. Number two, when we then layer on other stacks or other filters, we increase the likelihood of motivation. So let's start with, I'm going to say tired and inherited. I'm just going to check that count. We'll see what that comes back at. 2. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with going after those 2, but that's we're talking about minimal. Let's go tired and vacant. Tired and vacant. 19. Let's definitely hit those up. Let's go tired and involuntary. 27. Okay, so now we've got, we've got 50-ish. 50-ish. Tired tax default. 112, so 150. And then I might just do tired. Because at that point, what happens is, the way the system works is, what did I say? That's about 150 from the stacks. So we'll have approximately 250 left that are just the tired landlord category. So we could just do that. And then we could just do out-of-state absentee, which is a week's worth on its own. And then if we still need more from that one zip code, that's where I would start stacking in-state absentee with tax default, with involuntary. I'd probably start with, I'd go in-state inherited. I'd stack up from there. 22, not bad. In-state vacant. 71. In-state involuntary. 86. JR is making me want to start working this market because this is my type of audience. 79, in-state tax default. So that's how I would approach that in JR's market. And then I had one come in this morning that, oh, look at this. Oh, it's Tanya. Oh no, it's Laurie. Laurie chiming in on the text machine. So Laurie, I will check your senior leads in a minute. I've got about 14 minutes left before I have an appointment with, I think it's with Aaron Kelly. So I want to check. I'm in absentee mode. I'm going to check for Michael. I'm going to check in Auburn, Washington. Look at this. Look at this. What do we got here? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go tired tax default. 30. Tired involuntary. 25. Tired, well, we'll try tired and vacant. It's probably a small number, but 5. So I'd go tired vacant, tired tax, tired involuntary. Michael, we'll build out this plan for you in earnest, but that's where I would start with those. And then I might go tired and stack out of state. Yeah, 23. And then I would just do the out of state, and then I would just do tired. So I'd go tired vacant, tired and vacant. I'd go tired and tax default, tired involuntary, tired out of state, and then just out of state and just tired. And then if we still need more, or when we need more, because at some point we got to go back to the well, then I would pivot to in-state and some of those other stacks. So I'd go in-state. I'd probably go in-state vacant to start. Probably not many, but 14, not bad. And then I'd go in-state involuntary. 125. Then we got, now we've got a week and a half worth of contacts. All right, let's pivot back to, let's take a look at Laurie's 01867. I'm going to refresh here. And this is, I'm going to end on this one and then kind of wrap it up. David, absolutely. Just text me the zip code. 01867. 01. You don't have to fill out the form, David. You can just Reading, Massachusetts. I was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. Not that anybody needed to know that. I don't. But 1424. 1424 is the total senior. So let's get to stacking. We'll start with senior. Let's do senior vacant. Gonna be. I'm gonna guess 3. 5. Look at that. Okay. Senior vacant. Then senior involuntary. I think LeadDeck's getting tired from my 53. Senior tax default. And Laurie, I will put this into a plan as outlined here for you, just so you know. I will connect all of the dots there for you. So senior tax default. So now we've gotten, it's like 175. So that's two, depending on Lori's goals, that's 2 to 3 weeks worth of leads that we can collect to contact, converse, and connect with. And then let's say we still need more. We've run out. Let's do senior and tired. That's going to be a small one, and maybe one that should move up the tree. Like Lori might go tired vacant, then I'm sorry, senior vacant, senior tired, senior involuntary, senior tax, and then she could go senior free and clear when we need a bigger bucket, 554. Then we've got weeks worth of contacts. For those of you wondering, what we recommend is you collect them in a search target, but you only run them on days that you're working. Meaning, if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 11 to 12:15 is your time block to do the work of contacting, conversing, and connecting, you run the leads that you need for that day. Like don't run all of that until you need them. So we're laying the map, we're mapping out the plan, but you pull them as you need them. You pull them as you go, because we may have to pivot. Something may change, right? Stuff happens. So we want to have a map and a game plan, but we could be halfway through the first quarter and we're down 14-0, and we gotta figure something out. Or we might be up 14-0. And now we need to invest more time in this part of our timeline. So we can adjust on the fly if and as needed. So for those of you that I had done some of this work with or for, I will go back and connect the dots and build out that custom personalized plan based upon those numbers, and map out the list stack and in what order to do them. Jim, I'm sorry, I was doing a terrible job of watching the Zoom chat here, but Jim, I'll absolutely build that out for you. I'm going to make a note here so I want an ed. What does that mean? Sorry, Jim. I'm writing down the zip code so I don't.
I was just saying, your guy that makes your calls, I want a guy like that.
Oh. Well, you know what? So like, I didn't go looking for Ed. Ed found me, and I had to create a plan for Ed. But like, Ed wouldn't. You shouldn't look for an Ed until you've put in the work to know what the metrics should look like and what the work looks like. And until you have the confidence and the competence that if you have an Ed and he goes a week and he's like, I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong, let's sit down together and I'll do it with you so we can figure out what is different between what I know works and what you're doing. Right? So like, I won't say her name, but I have a person who's in my EXP organization who a couple of weeks ago said, I hired an assistant. And I'm thinking, hired an assistant? You don't even know what to have this person do. You're not even at a point of production that we should be even thinking about this, right? Until we have real pain from production, not from implementation, but from actual contracts and production. I think you have to go through that pain to know when you hire someone what the work should even look like. So Oscar, the Ed plan is he's contacting 25 people a day right now. And he just tells me when he runs out of people in LeadDeck. That's all. And he has sent me this week, I think 6 engaged leads, and he is not even close to 100. He's not even close to 100 because he's hand pecking in numbers. I mean, I showed him multiple times the other day and then I just gave up. I was like, all right, here's what I know that you can do and has worked. Because Monday, he just started doing the work on his own. I gave him a plan I gave him a Google Doc and a Loom video, and I gave him a plan. And I wanted to see what he would do with that plan. So on Monday, he sent me 2 engaged leads. I meet with him Tuesday, and I'm like, I'm trying to give him the easy button. Let's just tap away here. And eventually I was like, okay, let me give him leads that are like him, and just say, look, if hand pecking them in is working and you want to do that, that's fine. You just tell me when you need more in your account, and I'll have them there for you. Go ahead, Jim.
Josh, do you need anything other than my zip code there, or is that all you need?
You said 4 per month and that zip code. That's enough for.
And by 4 per month, that's what I'm trying. I'd like to see. I'd like to be able to get that many transactions.
Yep.
Not transactions, but listings.
Yep. That'll work.
Okay.
That's all I need for now.
Thanks.
Thank you, Stuart. Stuart breaking down. What do they call this? I don't know what you call, like Stuart broke down the origins of to sneeze at. So that was great. Thank you. I didn't realize that was in the chat. That makes me smile. David, go ahead.
I've got an error in the population of these emails. So, we were talking to you yesterday about how do you still own property? Wasn't getting anything right. So I had to go on an appointment, and I hadn't changed it on my laptop from that back to, are you still accepting offers? So I tried it on my phone to do it.
You have to refresh.
Refresh.
Okay. So 2 things on that. You have to refresh always. So if you change a script
on the phone,
correct. So this is a good reminder for everyone using LeadDeck. Number 1, if you were using it last night and you come back to it this morning, always refresh.
How do you refresh? What does that mean? Just
like literally well, on your phone, you could pull it down. So, okay. So refresh means literally just the circle button here. You can also do Shift Command R, which is a Mac. I don't know what the commands are on a desktop. You also, like, if you want to be doubly safe, you can log out and log back in. On your phone to refresh, you can just, usually when it opens up, see, like it opening like this is usually means it's refreshing, but you can hit this, I don't know what you call that, the circle with the arrow. You can hit that, or you can pull down. And as long as that does the little thing. However, it may have also been, which I have to check with Sean if this fix has been published. I think he was publishing it this morning. The imported leads, there's a script that's supposed to be specific for imported leads, but for whatever reason, it was pulling the main seller script. So it could have been A, that it wasn't refreshed, or B, it could be that fix wasn't published yet. And
well, what it's pulling for me is my name is, and I wanted to reach out because I have some off-market deals that might be a fit for your investment criteria. I don't see that in any of that's weird. And I've tried to work with this now for 12 hours. So I'm going to delete the draft.
so that sounds like somehow it's pulling the buyer script now.
Okay. Is that even in let me see. I looked on just the scripts that are available.
As soon as I gotta wrap this up, but but before I get on my next Zoom, I'm going to hit Sean and just make sure that he double checks, because the imported leads should be pulling this script here, the imported leads outbound scripts. But for me yesterday, it wasn't. And so I alerted him to that. I know he published a fix, but it sounds like maybe that published fix did not work but I was contacting expired leads this morning and it was working. Well, I may have him get directly with you as well, David, just to make sure that we fix it.
Thanks.
So thanks for the heads up. Okay. I will get back with everyone who I was doing that breakdown with to close or close the circle on that for everyone. And then if you're already in Founders Club, all you got to do is say yes, and Mike will build out anything in that isn't already integrated. If there's any pieces of that puzzle that need to be fit together, I will just get Mike involved and we'll get it squared away for you so that you can just be tapping your way to more transactions. If you're watching and you're curious about LeadDeck, just go to LeadDeck.ai for more information. Or if you want a personalized plan, LeadDeck.ai/plan. There may be a bonus session tomorrow. I don't normally do the cafe on Friday. And no one's obligated to do this, to show these, okay? Just so, I mean, obviously, I'm not holding anyone here against their will, obviously. The reason why I may do it is because my schedule next week means there's at least 3 days that I can't possibly, number one. And number two, actually, you know what? I probably could, because I'll be in Pacific Standard Time. I might be able to. But regardless, there's someone in our group here who has been doing the work and not getting the results. And so what I thought would be fun is me doing the work in her market, because I want to see what is going on here. Like try and figure out, is it the messaging? Is it the method? What's going on? Because I really want to help her, and I want to help anyone else who may be similarly struggling. So to be determined on that, only because I didn't ask her yet, A, if she was okay with it, and B, if she'd be available, because I want her at the ready, because when I get a conversation, I want to be able to make a warm handoff for her. So to be determined. If that happens, I will simply add a session in Zoom, and you're all in. If you're all in here, you should get a notification that a session has been added in Zoom. So stay tuned on that. If I don't do it tomorrow, that will be what I'm doing Monday. So it'll either happen tomorrow or Monday, one way or another. I think it'll be fun, and I think it'll be helpful. So, and if you don't already know, you can check out the replays on demand of these sessions at LeadDeck.ai/sprints. LeadDeck.ai/sprints. I got to go because I'm late for a strategy session or a check-in with one of our Founders Club. Thanks, everybody.